So, you're thinking about jumping into real estate. Great, but before you do, you've got to understand something really, really important. Buying a property isn't just about finding a place that feels like home. Nope. It's a high stakes numbers game. And honestly, for most first timers, the deck is kind of stacked against them. In fact, we see it all the time. Most people making their first real estate investment make the exact same mistake. It's this one critical error that can take a dream investment and turn it into a total financial nightmare. So what is it? It's simple, really. It's buying with your heart, not with your head. It's an easy trap to fall into, and believe me, it is an incredibly costly one. Which really makes you wonder, right? Are you about to make that same mistake? Okay, so let's break this down. It all begins with something we call the emotional trap. This is that moment where your feelings just take over and the numbers, well, they go right out the window. This is exactly where so many aspiring investors go wrong. You know how it is, right? You walk in and you're hit with these emotional triggers. The super fancy lobby, that huge balcony with the great view, the perfectly staged sample flat that looks like it's straight out of a magazine. But here's the deal. That stuff often just hides the harsh financial realities. Things like an area that actually has really low demand, a layout that's going to have poor resale value, or worst of all, a mountain of hidden fees. So the only way to steer clear of this trap is to adopt what we call an investor's mindset. This is the absolute key. It's a total shift in focus. You stop worrying about how a place looks and start obsessing over how it performs for you financially. All right, so how do you actually do that? Well, you start with the location litmus test. Seriously, before you even glance at a single picture of the property, you have to analyze the one thing that you can never, ever change: its location. You've got to become a bit of a detective here. Is there actual demand in this area? You need to dig into the city's future development plans. Check how close it is to good schools and major workplaces. Look at the transport links. And maybe the most important thing, how strong is the local rental market? Because let's be real, a beautiful flat that nobody wants to rent is just a money pit. It's a guaranteed loss. And this right here gets to the very heart of the investor's mindset. You're not just buying to own a place, you are buying to earn. Your property has to be an asset that performs for you, not some pretty liability that just bleeds your bank account dry every month. But even if you find the absolute perfect location, there's another trap waiting for you, and this one gets almost everybody. We're talking about hidden costs. You have to remember, the price you see on the listing, that's just the beginning. It is never the final price you're going to pay. So first up, you've got these big one-time hits like registration and stamp duty. Then come the costs that just never stop. Things like annual property taxes and those monthly maintenance fees. And the real kicker, the biggest one of all, the total interest you'll end up paying on your loan. That is the true hidden cost of borrowing the money. So what does this all add up to? You might want to brace yourself for this. As a general rule of thumb, you can expect all these hidden costs to add at least 20% to the property sticker price. Yeah, 20%. Think about that for a second. On a $500,000 property, that's an extra $100,000 you probably didn't budget for. That single number can completely sink what looked like a great deal. So where does all this leave us? Well, it means we need to complete that mental shift we talked about at the beginning. It's time to finally stop thinking like a buyer and start acting like a savvy investor. Look, if you take only one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Real estate investing is not about falling in love with a property. It's about doing the math and making absolutely sure the numbers work for you. And to help you do that math, here's a really simple but powerful tool. We call it the investor's 3-point check. Before you make any decision, run the property through this filter. Number 1. Location growth. Is there real, provable demand? 2. Value check. What are the actual rental and resale numbers looking like? And 3. Total cost. Have you found every single hidden fee? If it doesn't pass all 3 checks, you walk away. Simple as that. Because ultimately, it all comes down to this. Once you apply this mindset and actually do the math, you have a choice to make. Will your first property be the foundation for building your wealth, or will it just be a very expensive monument to your regret? The choice, and more importantly the calculation, is yours.